Good afternoon. Samsung has scrapped its Galaxy Note 7 after a series of battery fires. The firm had formerly recalled 2.5 million devices after dozens exploded or caught fire and was in the process of replacing them. Sky News has discovered that the NHS has begun banning the phones over concerns about the risk of fires in hospitals. More on that with Willem Marks, who's with us here in the studio. This is a bad day for Samsung.
It is, especially for their shareholders as well. The price of their shares has been plunging both in Asia and in the US. Their rival Apple doing very well out of this, their share price meanwhile up. And obviously it's going to be very expensive, this problem they've had. Some of the analysts looking at this saying $17 billion this will cost them in the end. This was their flagship smartphone, the Note 7. It was competing with the iPhone 7. They were really hoping that they would dominate with this Android device. And as you can see, we've had dozens of these incidents. You're seeing some of the pictures here. There were 35 of them until they forced a recall of the 2.5 million that had already sold. And then once they sent out replacement handsets, they'd initially thought it was the battery supplier that was creating the problem. They changed that supplier, and then with the new replacement handsets, they had another 7 incidents until they've now announced overnight that they're going to end entire production in South Korea. You mentioned there the hospital concerns here in the UK. The NHS Foundation Trust in Newcastle upon Tyne, they released a statement earlier today. Staff will at no time bring onto trust property this type of mobile phone. Patients on arrival will be asked what type of mobile phone they have, and those with the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 will be asked initially to turn them off completely. They'll then be asked to have the phone removed from the premises by a family member or visitor. The issue here, lithium batteries. This is not the first time we've heard about problems, but this has been seemingly the most visually frightening and safety conscious issue that we've seen with handsets, smartphones. These are really expensive handsets, Kay. These are like $900, £700. So people really buying those know what they want. They're very specific in their tastes, and this is, as a consequence, going to cost this company a lot of money.
Okay, so you talk about lithium batteries there. Lithium batteries and air travel don't necessarily go hand in hand. No,
we've had restrictions on them in the past. There's been a distinction made between cargo and passenger travel on aircraft, and in fact there was a recent Amazon trial here in the UK just a couple of weeks ago which was focused on Amazon allowing vendors to send some of these lithium batteries without labelling them correctly. We've had some comments, and this is relating to air travel in particular here in the UK, from the British Airline Pilots Association. They had a statement out earlier today as well. They tried to describe exactly what happens when a lithium battery fails. It will get extremely hot. They have this condition known as thermal runaway, where the fuel inside these lithium batteries continues to burn in extreme heat until they burn out.
Even if they're switched off?
Even if they're switched off. There was an incident just a few days ago on an American airline, the Southwest Airlines, where the passenger had a Note 7 with him. He turned it off, and yet it still started burning and burnt a hole in the carpet.
Can you imagine being sat next to him?
Terrifying, right? Absolutely terrifying. So they grounded that plane, in fact, and clearly this is of concern to the airline industry, and Samsung reacting as quickly as they can, it seems.
Okay, we've been in touch with British Airways, I think, and they've said they've got instructions, haven't they, on their website, Q&A.
Can you imagine being asked for your mobile phone what model you have as you're getting on a plane? Hopefully everyone has now seen this is the recall that's been told, you know, return this handset, turn it off as soon as possible. We should reiterate.
And what should you do if it's your only form of communication with people?
Go to the phone store, get a full refund, and get a new handset.
Okay, and they'll do that straight away?
Yeah, that's what they're all saying.
Thanks a lot, Alan. Thank you.